All right. Good evening, everyone joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, or East Africa. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone that may be plugging in from different corners of the nations of the earth. This is Sober Sunday. We have stimulating conversations about matters that affect our lives. This is a place we seek to connect with the voice of reason, with principles that build our lives and propel us forward, making us better as we receive wisdom to build and establish areas and corners of our lives in ways that make us richer in this life. And so this is J.M. Divo standing in for one Pastor Simon Baby. And it's a pleasure to be here. I think I've been here a couple of times. I'm not new in this space. And of course, excited about some of the conversations we're going to be having tonight. You want to let your friends know that we are live. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be life-changing. And so please let your friends know, call in those that can be called, send messages to those that will receive them. Let's journey together. Let's make this space exciting. And of course, with me is one Ewagata, who also is not new into this space. Ewagata has been talking about marriage in this city of Nairobi and in different corners of the nations as he does ministry. And we're excited to have you tonight. I invite you to just introduce yourself and in case we have guests and people joining us who are seeing you for the first time. Please go ahead. Tell us if you're married and who you're married to, how long you've been married. And if you're still excited about marriage, let us know so that, those that are wondering how this is going to be panning out can begin to hear as early as now.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a joy to be here. My name is Pastor David Ewagata. Thank you so much, Pastor David, for just hosting me here today. Married to one Rose. We've been married for come 18th of March. This is our anniversary month. We will be turning 22 years. And yes, they don't say a lot. They don't give you newspaper headlines when you have a good marriage. They wait for it to fall apart. So glad we have a platform to talk about enjoying great marriages and just tips to a great marriage. And so I'm glad Rose will be joining us. I hope she will be joining us. We had some guests home, but I hope she'll be able to finish with them and join us as soon as possible. So excited to be here. I serve as a pastor at Papa Center Church and also lead an organization called YHub Networks, which is a youth ministry resource center right in the heart of Thika Road, serving the city, the nation, and borders beyond.
Awesome. 22 years, Ewagata. How is that? In a sentence or two, what would be the summary of your experience in marriage? 22 years. You see, a lot of things are happening, Pastor, and I'm sure you know that. I mean, people have said all kinds of things, and I've come up with all manner of, ideas about how to go around the challenges of marriage. It's even now suggested that it's even better maybe if you don't get attached, if there are good things in marriage, jump in, sip and come out, because if you get too entangled and connected, you're maybe looking for chaos. What do you say about marriage, having been there for 22 years as we begin these conversations?
Yeah. I think at the get-go, I'll say the script of successful marriage has not changed. The players have changed, but the script has not. And so we need to think about what has changed about the players in marriage. Marriage as an institution is blessed of the Lord, it's ordained of God, and is fruitful for the glory of God when handled well. And so I just say, you know what? It all boils down to the characters involved in marriage. There are three characters: the bride, the groom, and God. And in the absence of God, goodwill, because there's something called general revelation, where God just allows rain to fall on both the wicked and the godly at the same time.
Thank you very much, Ewagata. I thought you were going to say the third person involved there is the in-laws, but it's good you said it is the Lord. So, and we'll be talking a bit more about that as we delve into this. Of course, those of you are joining us from different parts of the nations of the earth, you're very, very welcome. This again is Sober Sunday. We get to have some very stimulating conversations about things that affect our lives, subjects and topics that are key to our lives becoming better in this life. Of course, standing in for one Pastor Simon Baby, who sends his apologies. He's troubled and out there, was not able to make it in good time. We are here. It will be exciting. Of course, again, if you can invite somebody, a friend, let them know we are here. It is happening. And tonight, we're going to be talking about tips of a good marriage. Now, if you're there and you're married, you need to hang on, because you're going to hear some things that are going to excite you and change you. And again, if you're there and you are not married, again, you need to hang on, because we're going to be sharing stuff about, just how to then enter into marriage advisedly, with some important information and principles. And if you're there and marriage is not going so good, again, you're going to get some wisdom tonight. So this is for all of us. In case you've chosen never to get married, you will also hear stuff that could either change your mind about that decision, or stuff that could give you some wisdom to share with your neighbor who is married. So this is for all of us. And once again, tips of good marriage. And this you will have. So marriage, again, like driving a car, I know is a mix of several dynamics, things that need to be put together. You need to know how to engage the gear. You need to know how to look at the side mirrors as you drive. You need to know, where the hood is. You need to know where the brakes are. You need to know how to reverse. Where you look, do you turn your head to look back when you're driving? Do you use your rear mirror? And so on and so forth. And so as we start this conversation, Ewagata, I don't know if, what are some of the things you will put on top of a list here as, some key things and principles that anyone thinking success in marriage should very early in the day begin to consider or to reflect on, or to seek to learn or to grow around, very early in the day. And I know there's a lot that we're going to be talking about, but go ahead and begin to throw in some of the things that from your experience in the last 22 years, you'd say are actually, some things that you would put on top of a list as far as success in marriage is concerned.
I think number one, as I said earlier, it's the person. Please welcome my wife, Rose, to Mefika. Mefika Sasa. So glad she's right on time, just when we are getting into it. And so,
Awesome. Karibu sana, Rose. It's good to see you here.
It's a pleasure.
You've been given a very, awesome. You've been introduced very well, and he's just told us that you've been the best wife in the last 22 years, and we'd love to hear more about that. So again, you are very welcome, and we'll be, of course, coming to you. We are talking about tips of a good and successful marriage, and I just asked the question, what is it that, according to you guys, will be some of the things you would put on top of a list of a successful marriage? What would that be? And I think Ewagata just started to, mention thing, and I'll ask you to just rewind it a little bit for us, and in case someone had not heard that, you can pick it up again, kindly.
So as I said at the start, marriage begins with the people, the who are the people in the marriage, not necessarily the institution, but the people in the marriage. And that is you, your spouse, and thirdly, God. Or, just sheer good luck, general revelation where God allows rain to fall on both the godly and the ungodly. The first thing that I'll, just over the top of that, when it comes to talk about the people in the relationship, is the choice of a spouse. Now, I'll tell you this, many times when we say the choice of a spouse, people feel, William Patikana. But let me tell you, marriage is not where you pick what is left. You pick what is best. Sisi Yotuko does not work for marriage. Unfortunately, sometimes you go into marriage without wale walikuwa wamebakia kwa shelf, kwa ile bail, and you end up with disaster. And so, make a premium pick. In fact, we love saying, you know what? I say I married up. I could not have by my own strength afforded to get a wife like this. And so, when you marry up, you value the person you marry. Think about it. If you are planning to buy a vehicle and you had the dream car, in your mind, and by sheer grace and mercies of God, you had all the resources to buy your dream car, how would you feel? How would you treat that vehicle? Because, the treatment of a spouse comes from the value we ascribe to them. And so start with the right, start with the right material. If she's not A1 material, according to you, I'm not saying that according to the world standards, not according to how your relatives look at it. It's she the choice that you will break your leg to get to. That
Wait, Pastor, let me interrupt and ask a question right there. So when you say that she needs to be A1, so are you talking about, how well, if from a man's perspective, how well endowed this girl is? Are we talking, Hollywood standard, that I've gotten the right pick? Yes. And when you say you got A1, so what does that mean for me? When do I know when it's A1?
A1.
Yeah, what is A1? Thank you. That's a very good question. A1 begins, of course, with the first thing you see in a person is the superficial, it's the looks. Yeah. And so it goes without saying they have to be attractive, all right, to you. And attraction may not.
And they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
So if in your view, the world might not think that person is beautiful or handsome, but in your view, this person is the most beautiful person you have ever met.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Hollywood standards, it's not cultural standards, it's not your friend's standards, it's not your social circle standard, it's your standard.
It's my hood standard, not
standard. And your standards have to be informed by something, usually. And so for us who are believers, our narrative, our dominant narrative is the word of God. And so it informs the value system. So A1 will differ from a guy who just from anywhere. A1 will differ from, there will be a difference between defining A1 as a believer and defining A1 just as a man looking for a woman. So
okay,
that's why
I think
for you as the beholder, your A1 is not just informed by just what you want also, but also informed by your value system.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know you want me to
I think
one.
So
I think,
yes.
Once
we have what we're saying here.
Yes. So they have to be attractive to you.
Yes.
Yes.
That is liberating, Rose. That is liberating because I think we're saying number one, the package is important.
Yes, it is.
Before you go to, And I think what is liberating here is if I'm okay with the package,
Yes.
The rest is noise.
Yes.
You know, if according to me, first things first, the package I love, I like,
Yes.
too sour. The rest is
sour.
noise. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, you're saying that I need to look beyond the package and begin to see, you know, the content inside the package, the value that this person carries, what kind of a person are they, what are their views, what philosophies do they live with, is the word of God, the guiding wisdom, did they submit themselves to the word of God, so that then we know we can build with a wisdom that when it is tested, it will not be a house that will come down. It will not be built on sand. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very good. I think that's important. And if you're there and you're listening, there you have it. A1, first the package and then the content. Important. But remember, one liberating point here given to us by Rose, according to the eyes of the beholder. I think that's very important. All right. Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Now, I think many times we misconstrue when we say the package is important. We assume that the package is number one.
Yeah.
But there are more important things. That's why many times you'll find somebody who you met, you didn't like in the first place, or you didn't take interest in them. But then when you get to interact with them, you begin to see the character traits. You begin to see their beliefs and convictions. All right. So you see the character, how they carry themselves. You begin to see their beliefs and convictions. Are we aligned? Does she believe or does he believe in God? Is his walk with God a growing relationship? Because you can also be guys who go to church, but just to go and hang out and find out if I can find a girlfriend or a holy boyfriend out there. Number three is, what kind of background are they coming from? The background and the baggage they come from. Unfortunately, sometimes we get to that place of courtship when we are doing our premarital counseling class and you've already paid dowry. So you've come for this 6 months, you know, head run to the altar. That is when you start discovering, this is the background they come from. This is the kind of family they've come from. This is the baggage they carry. They have had several boyfriends. They have been brokenhearted. They have experienced this and that kind of crisis in their lives. This is what they have gone through. And you're like, wow. I didn't bargain for all this, you know? And so you need to be able to pick out what are the character traits that they have. And now this become the more critical determinants. I kid you not, in any room you walk in this city, you will find an attractive woman.
And a handsome man.
Yes, or a handsome man. In fact, in this Canairo, you can be confused from morning to evening. You can take a matatu, you're supposed to drop you're supposed to drop in Westland, and you end up in Udhiru because you're sitting next to this person. You just want to see them, behold them for the whole day. You know?
Yeah.
But no, looks are such a shallow position to bargain for, because looks are the basic entry point. Then now the more critical things come in: character, convictions and beliefs, their confession of faith, their background, what they have come from, the family they come from. And that's why you find traditional homes will say, know their home, their baggage, their life experiences. Wamebeba nini, wamepitia wapi, wamegongwa na nini, ama wamegonga nani. We need to know those things. Then you can come to that place where you say, now, with all this, I conclude that this is the person that equals A1 for me. I don't know if I've left anything out.
All right. Very good. Things are beginning to
yeah, and you know, that's where the conversation of all the red flags and the green flag come up. Because, you know, once you have already set a date and you have already engaged your parents and you've already engaged everyone, at that point when red flag now show up is the wrong time. You are feeling indebted. You're feeling it's a bit late to go back on a decision or a choice you have made. And so even more reason to spend good time to get to know this person before, you know, and not allowing yourself to feel like because you've already started the premarital counseling, then you owe it to the person to get married to them. If at some point, even in that premarital counseling, you feel that this red flag is bigger and bigger and bigger, because a red flag shows up in a relationship when you're dating. It will be a bigger red flag when you're married, because now it's closer. You're seeing it from the proximity is so close, it's in your face. So if it's when you're dating, you always put your best foot forward. You always want to impress the other person. You're always wanting to do so. Even when a red flag appears, it's usually like it's
covered up very fast.
And then you have, as the other person who's noticing that red flag, you're quick to make excuses or to excuse that person for their behavior or for their character flaw, because you love them and you don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose this relationship. And so it's very easy to say, oh, it's just a weakness. Oh, it will improve with time, or maybe it's just me. But the moment you are closer at that proximity of marriage, that red flag is bigger. And even
Thank
more.
you very much. Thank you very much. Those of you are joining us, Renee Shiro, thank you very much. Good evening, watching us from Nairobi, Kenya. Cairo, excited to be part of this. Shocked, it's at 22 years of marriage, Pasi. It's just the other day as you led us in DC. Watu wanashangaa, ulifikisha miaka 22.
It's just the other day, just 22 years ago.
Yeah. So very nice. So allow me to just, for those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about tips of a successful marriage. And we've had one point that the Wagatas are placing on top of the list. I think we are saying here that marriage will never be better than the players in that marriage. And we're saying one of the ways to ensure that you're the right people, start well. You need to find that A1 according to the Wagatas. A1 here, again, we were told begin slowly. Outside, going inside. Check the packaging. How is it? A liberating point here again is that beauty, the good looks and whatever it is you're looking for in the package according to the eyes of a beholder. But you need to begin to check a little further and see inside what sits in the heart. All right. What are the contents? What values do we fly with? What manuscript do we use? And again, we're saying here that sometimes you know, that not sometimes, this is all the times more important than the package. And sometimes you could find the package iligongwa kidogo kwa safari. It was here and there as things were happening. It's not quite there, but you know, the value, the person, the content inside is still intact. It's very, you know, still very fine. So, you know, those two things, when they're on the scale, again, we've been told here that the real person, what is inside, the values they fly by, is what is very crucial. And I hope you're taking notes here. That has been placed on top of a list here. And I'm going to be inviting the Wagatas to maybe give us a second point here. So start right. Get the A1. If you mess up there, you're probably setting yourself up for drama, for trouble, for chaos. And that's why it is important to pray, to talk to God, to allow the Holy Spirit to guide you so that what you don't see, you can see. So get to know the person, engage, ask questions, visit the home, listen to them, look out for red flags. And it's never too far, you know, until you say, I do. You still have time to see and to look around and turn things around. And if you're not happy, don't rush into this. again, feel free, engage us, talk to us, let us know what you're hearing, where you're listening from, where you're watching from, and would like to receive your comments. Let's engage, let's talk, let's keep this flowing. So there you go, A1. Tell us, after you've got your A1 and the journey begins, what else follows? What else follows if this marriage is going to succeed?
I think you're in the midst of that, you're also in prayer. I think one of the things that we cannot understate in this journey is to pray that God will show you that this is the right person, because you can have all these other boxes check out, but then is this person God's will? Why? Because there's something called mission, right? What's your mission in life? Is your mission in life aligned with this person? You want to be a pastor. Does she have an interest in serving in ministry? Does she have an interest in supporting you as a minister? Or is it going to be a downturn for her to look and say, you know what, how can I get married to a pastor? Is it something that she looks up and says, I want to be part of your journey? And with what she's doing also, is she somebody in a journey where you say, you know what, I want to support her journey? She may not be a pastor, she may not come alongside you in ministry, but is she doing something, or are you in a place where you can support her? For example, let me give a random example. You're here, struggling to get into ministry, and God is calling you to ministry, and you meet this amazing sister, but her career is distribution of alcohol. She has a few trucks, and she can really support the ministry. In terms of resources, she's well endowed financially. But her job is distribution of alcohol from here to the Rift Valley and Western Kenya and everywhere. And her trucks are doing the trips. Yes, you may agree in terms of, yes, you have all these character traits, but your mission and her mission clash. And so that's why it's important to know what's our mission, all right? And then resolve that, because sometimes people get into marriage, and sometimes it may not be something as adverse as that. It just maybe that I want to go in this direction, and this other person wants to go in this direction.
And of course, that's also informed a lot by the value. One of the things that couples need to have sort of in sight is what values do we want to espouse as a family, or as a wife, or as a husband. Mm-hmm. So let's say you value family.
Yeah.
So raising children in a great environment, being present for them is key in raising, if you're passionate about family. Being present for your children, being present for your spouse, those are things that you value, because it can be formed by your background, it can be formed by what you believe in as a person. And then you're getting married to a person who travels a lot. It can be as simple as that, who travels a lot, or who works out of the country. So most of the time they are away from where you are. Or even if you're just at the beginning and you have a conversation, let's say you get a promotion, and we've had those conversations. I say you get a promotion, or you get a good job, very well paying, with all the perks and with all the, but it is away from home. It is going to take you away from the family for long periods. Are we going to take that job or not? So that's a value issue that you're having conversations about. And and the decision will be made based on our value. If our value is we need to make money, we need to build that house, we need to buy that car, we are competing with the Jones, we need to always look like we are successful, then you will choose, it will be okay for you. But if for you, having a healthy family is being present, then, and this person agrees and supports that, and you are on the same page with that, they would say, but why can't you take this job? It's well paying, it's okay, we will stay, we'll be fine, we will be visiting, we will have great holidays. If that is a value system that already you're clashing about, then so it will be a challenge in your marriage. So have that in mind all the time when you're having those conversations of what makes a great marriage? A great marriage is made when we are on the same page in terms of a value. What do we value as a couple? We value a healthy marriage. We value communication. We value respect. We value honoring each other.
Yeah.
We value, each other. We value each other.
Value good food.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we are on the agreement with that.
Yeah. Awesome. I know you trashed this lady, Wagata. Thank you very much, Rose. That has trucks for transporting beer from Kenya to Busia. You never know. A mission statement may be drawn from John chapter number 2, how Jesus rescued the situation by,
turning water into wine drinks.
Exactly. What I'm hearing here, and I think we're getting a little deeper here, and I hear that it is one thing for you to go in your wisdom to try and establish, so what are your values? And we sit in Java or wherever and ask each other this question. It is one thing to say, oh, you know me, I value God, I value family, I value this and the other. And so I think what I'm hearing here is that we need to engage the Lord, because he's the one who searches the hearts of men, because a heart can be deceitful, where before that job that you're talking about, Rose, comes, I actually feel, I value family and, time together until I am tested. And hence the need to involve the Lord, so that then the Lord can also reveal, the depths of the heart. And then also, I think we are saying take time, don't quickly rush into it. Take time, turn things around, ask questions, engage on a premarital counseling table. What do you think are the roles of a man, of a woman, of how do you want us to raise children, so on and so forth, so that, these values can also be turned inside out, so that as much as possible, we can find that harmony and confirmation in our hearts, in the spirit, as we want it. And I think that's very clear. Now, and we prepare. I got A1 material, I've engaged in prayer, and the Lord has released me now. Allow me to push us a little further into this journey. We've come together. I have ticked all the boxes. The Lord has confirmed. The trucks have been sold. Beer is not being transported anymore. And I feel this is it. And we go and say, I do. And the journey begins. Yes. Tell us, what are some of the things now that we are inside that, are some critical corners, again, that could either be a make or break? We've done that. We've found ourselves inside now. And we want this marriage to succeed. Does the journey end there? Once I have the A1, na tumeingia, am I guaranteed that, whether I sleep, on the head of the bed and my wife faces the other side, as we used to do growing up, sharing a bed. So long as we're in, it doesn't matter which direction you face as you sleep, you're just fine. You're kind of covered. Is that how it goes?
Once you are in, it's too late. Katambe.
Yeah.
I think, okay, now let's get serious. Okay. I think one of the things that Bishop JB loves to say, says when somebody comes and tells us they want to get married, we do everything to stop them. We try and put all the roadblocks. Have you considered this? Do you know their family? Are you sure you can afford this? And they check everything. And that is what the premarital counseling class is all about for them. It's like, let's look, let's perchance, let's see background. Are they okay? Let's see your emotional stability and your emotional status. Is she emotionally stable enough to be a wife? Let us look at education, academically compatible. Let's look at, family background. Are you coming from very divergent background? When we fail,
which nursery school did you go to?
Yes.
I met somebody who was told that the nursery school they went to, it was called Kamira Mirakanguku. And that means for those of you who understand that language, it means, yeah, it's a bit actually off. Let me not mention that, but that was not a nice name. And that was a deal breaker. It was a deal breaker. So it's important to know the name of a school, of the kindergarten that they went to. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so once you've jumped in there, they make every effort. And he says this, once the moment we fail to convince you not to get married, and we come to the wedding day and you get married, now our job becomes to make sure you stay married, come rain or shine. So as I'm saying, you know what, once you're in, it's too late. The entire society's work, your work as a couple, is to make sure it works. Why do I say this? I'm not saying this in a negative connotation in terms of, well, it's too late, you can't jump out, it's over for you, life is finished, you know, and that's it. But I'm saying this to say, once you are in there, forget looking behind. And that is why we, as pastors, when we are standing in front of you, we say, have you come to this day willfully, without any compulsion? Is there any reason why these two should not be joined together? If there is any, please speak now, or forever hold your peace. That statement is not just for the congregation. It's also for you as a couple.
For me, I think the biggest, once you get in, is to get to a place of adjusting. Mm-hmm. So the first season of marriage, early years of marriage, are spent adjusting, because there's a lot that you are going to discover about one another from that proximity of marriage.
From that moment on.
And there's a lot of adjustments you'll have to make.
Yeah.
For most people, because we enter in with a lot of high expectations, some of which are unrealistic in terms of your expectations of what a marriage should be.
Most of which are unrealistic. Let's just be realistic.
The roles of a husband, how we're gonna be living, you know, it's informed by a narrative sometimes from what we have read, what we have watched, what society is saying. And a lot of that is shed off in the first years of marriage. Yeah. Where now you begin to, what some counselors call, you know, divorcing the person you thought in your head. The image you had in your head. The image you had in your head. And beginning to see the person that you married from a reality, you know, a real stage. And so it takes a bit of adjustment. For some people, they go through disillusionment. They just feel like, is this it? And there are people who are still honeymooning, you know, and they're like, wow, this was great. This was awesome. I made a good decision. I'm really enjoying myself. So it depends on the perspective you take. Be open to learning, be open to growing, be open to discovering, and shedding off some of those false or unrealistic expectations you might have on each other.
It's interesting that actually a lot of the decisions about our marriage we make even before we meet.
Yeah.
Our convictions about marriage are formed in our parents' homes. Our understanding of what relationships are all about are built in our interaction with the opposite sex as we are in our teens. And that's why I tell people many marriages do not break on the wedding bed. They get broken in our teens, in our childhood, in the situations we find ourselves in or the situations we put ourselves in. So what all the marriage has provided is the scenario to enact what you had already prepared yourself for. And so we have to investigate, are marriages successful because this couple is working hard, or are they successful because these individuals, as they grew up, were intentional? And yes, there's a place where God bestows and heals and renews and revives, but many times we are the full product of our background, our experiences, our assumptions and presuppositions, our unrealistic or realistic expectations. And when we come into marriage, they now show. And so what I think about men will show on the marriage. I cannot say I love my husband or my wife and I hate women. That's an oxymoron. I cannot say I trust my wife, but I fear Ogopa Mamanziwa Kanairo. Yet she's from Kanairo. I cannot say I have a respect for my wife when I have total disregard for my sister, my mother, my colleagues, my neighbors who are female.
Awesome. I must apologize to our viewers and everyone joining us. These guys are spoiling this party. They are telling us that most of the expectations that we go into marriage with, you know, they are just busting the bubble here, that you will find some of these things were in your head. They are not what you thought they will be or they are. And I hear a very important point here that we must not miss. You know, when you go in there and this is what you thought, and reality happens to be this. So it's not, you don't begin to kick the cat and throw plates against the wall. You settle down and receive grace and wisdom to adjust, to say, okay, this is what we have now to work with. So first, accept it, and then begin to see if there are things that can be adjusted and changed and shifted. How do you begin to change, shift, and work on them to the place where they should be? And the good thing is, Scripture shows us that God does not leave us alone. Anyone willing to make marriage work, there's grace available. And so we settle down, we say, this is it. That is our dream. My bubble may be busted, but I will walk there by God's grace, day after the other, working on this. Allow me to read a few comments, and thank you very much for those of you who are engaging us. We are receiving your messages. Allow me to sample a few. Mutindi tells us that people fear difficult conversations. People fear they will make the other uncomfortable and possible rejection. So we make assumptions and lie to ourselves. We will figure it out. So that's from Mutindi. Thank you very much. Eric is telling us, I'm tuned in from Nairobi. Zach following from Muranga. Mutindi again tells us the worst for some are their friends, mothers, aunties who have waited and prayed for you. You share the red flags and tell you to legeza kamba, sharing how they are dealing, not overcome as they pray with the famous words, marriage is sweet, lakini ni kazi ngumu. And those are some of the things we must dispel, you know, and say, haitakuwa kazi ngumu kwangu. I will work, yes, but without sweat and strain, because that's your portion in Jesus' name. Jen Mwikali following from Nakuru. Shiro, that's a good way to have premarital counseling. Do a background check and trying to stop the couple. The true colors of someone's come out. Cairo, again, marriage works because they are intentional. Thank you very much for all of you who are following and watching and listening. Please tell us what you're hearing, what you're receiving. We prepared well. We've got A+, A1. We've entered marriage. That was a fresh one for me. We've entered marriage. And inside there, we've started to depend on the Lord to show us things that we need to do. We've settled down. We are adjusting to things. God is giving us grace by faith. We're engaging what we must engage with one goal, to make this institution work. And the grace will be available. I can't believe it that our time is flying the way it is. We don't have too much time left. Please tell us what else would you say? We are now there, we've adjusted. We have realized that, hey, this is not what I thought. The reality is this. I have come down. I am working on things, trusting God for grace. It is being supplied. I'm, receiving wisdom and help from the heavens every day, and the wheels are turning. What else would you rank in there as we begin to come to the closing moments of this show? As maybe one thing we must say to the viewers today?
I think I would say agreement. All right. You come to understand that this is the reality. You come to see how to adjust. Good to hear from you, Mutindi Kakuti, Daktari. Good to hear from you. You have to come to a place of agreement. Now, agreement does not mean that everything is working effectively. All right. Agreement means, I bought a V8, I acquired my A1 dream vehicle, V8 twin turbo, it's 6-cylinder, it has all the specs I wanted, leather seats, stereo, bang, and all of a sudden, it has everything. Then I realized to service this vehicle, my friend, is a couple of people's salary. But I will not say, you did not tell me I need to fuel this thing twice a week, and it's 2 tanks. You did not tell me. So what you need to do is begin to come to a place where we agree. Even though I understand it's expensive to manage this A1, even though I understand that there are things that are difficult for me to adapt to, at this point, we agree. 1, exit is not an option. All right, these are our agreements. Exit is not an option. Yeah, because the moment you put an if clause or an exit clause, I can assure you, a moment will come when you will take it. Because foolishness hits us. It doesn't matter whether you're a bishop, a pastor, a medic, a counseling psychologist. There are moments where foolishness that was hidden in the heart and your mother didn't beat all of it out, shows up. All right?
The stick, bro.
You do some nonsensical thing. If we put an if clause, if she says, the day the day she puts that if clause, the devil says, tutafanya kazi. And that moment will come when the if comes. Sometimes you say, if he doesn't have a job, or if we don't get children, or even if we get children, but we don't get sons. And people come with an if clause. The moment you put that, you will find an exit clause. So one of the agreements is, we are here till death us to part us. So anything we are working on, because we know in the market there is no other, this was a customized version. It was made for me, And so I'm not going back to the market to get another one. This is it. So with this now we agree, okay, how do we adjust? How do we adapt? Our commitment is complete, it's secure, it's set. Beginning to now say, I want to be able to grow in this area so that she's not pained by what. The adjustment and agreement is not so much you begin to lower your standards, it's me beginning to change some things about me. As God works on me, and God works on our marriage, and God works on her. Now, I know when we say God, it sounds very superficial, but the reality is there is an anchor that holds anything. The premise of Toyota is to make affordable vehicles. The premise of Mercedes is to make executive vehicles. There's an anchor. And so I have to decide, what is our anchor? Our anchor is God. All right? And so we have to sit with that and build on that agreement. Everything else oscillates around the anchor we have built. When I fall apart, the anchor is Christ. She cannot be, I don't believe she can handle my falling apart. Neither can I handle her. I believe God can handle.
Yeah. Very nice. I'm hearing 2 very important things here. Ross, you wanted to say something?
Yes. With God in the picture, it doesn't mean that now you take the autopilots. We call marriage settling down. Now you settle, mefika, you have arrived. Now everything will just fall into place, and you find the good wife, find the good thing, obtains favor with the Lord. There's a level of
bask and enjoy the favor
and being intentional about growing that marriage. Just because you have settled doesn't mean you have arrived. Doesn't mean you stop growing. This relationship has to keep growing with time. Like any other relationship, if it's neglected, or if it doesn't stay as a priority, or if you're not intentional, it loses its value. You know, once you invest in something, you increase its value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of us who are investing in our careers, the moment you add onto that career a degree, you add something else, you add something, you are increasing your value as an employee or an employer. And in the marketplace, you begin to have more value.
Yeah.
We invest a lot of other things in life. We invest in our kids, invest in our own development, but we never are intentional about investing in marriage. And that's something that we go on autopilot. We just think because she loves me, I love her, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be okay. Niliacha wengine forsook all others. That should tell you that you're committed to this marriage. We forget that it's not just that one day of walking down the aisle that will tell you that this marriage, you're committed to this marriage. There's a journey of intentional growth, investing, adding value to this marriage. So that by the time 20, 30 years, 40 years, when you're looking at down the road, you're saying we have grown.
She's aging like fine wine.
We are, you know, the value of that person has increased. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. I think I cannot believe that time is run out on us. I hear three very important things here. Number one is we've got to enter and close the door and remove the exit sign so that nobody has access. And I think that always is a big faith statement, that I have come into this institution with one resolve, that to work. And I think God honors that. God honors that. And he gives us grace and strength and wisdom if we come into it, knowing that there is no day we will think or make foolish statements like what we've just been told here. Then God is also committed to beautify your union, your relationship. Secondly, is the God factor. You know, let God help you. Don't do this alone. Involve God, invite God, have moments where you intentionally invite God. And lastly is have a clear vision of growth that you're willing to do something about, to invest in your marriage, make it better. That's the same way we grow our careers, our, you know, our businesses, and we do, we have steps to say, I will do this, I'll go to school, I'll get this degree, I will get this certification for this, you know, and this and the other. It's the same way marriage needs to be worked on, identify the gaps, be willing to do stuff, and to get things moving. Thank you very much. I see all of your comments. Unfortunately, time may not allow us to, you know, read out all of this. Thank you very much, Mr. Zach. I see your comments here, the things you agree with here. And yeah, some very interesting comments there. Allow me not to, you know, run through these comments. We hear them, we receive them loud and very clear. And again, I think we've had an awesome time here from discussing if marriage is going to work, the players of institution have got to be the right people. A1, we've talked about how you end up with the A1, you know, players of an institution. Once you get in there, how do you lay the right foundation? How do you set yourself to work? How do you close the doors for exit? How do you begin to invest and ensure that at every time this marriage is shining ever brighter unto the perfect day by the things you do, the investments you make, and the work you're willing to put in there. Unfortunately, believe it or not, that's all the time we had for tonight to be able to engage on this amazing subject, tips here. It does feel like we've just started. And so in 30 seconds, yeah, it happens. I think so. So we'll be talking to Pastor Simon to see if we can be granted the second service. Of course, yeah, we can see if this can be pushed a little further. I want to welcome Ewagata and Rose in 30 seconds. If you can give us your parting shots, just some words that you want to leave viewers with as we bring this to a close, kind of.
I was saying ladies first, but you see, so it's not because we don't do ladies first in our home.
Yes. Even the way you guys are dressed, it looks like you rehearsed for this. I can see the red and the black. It's just going very well. I think we don't doubt there's always agreement in that house. Anyway, give us your parting shot as we bring this to a close.
What I would say is,
yes.
I think one, I still believe marriage is great. And I don't want to put ourselves out there and say, if you doubt it, look at us. But a lot of times we do not celebrate good marriages. There are amazing marriages out there, tons and tons of them. The reason you don't hear about them is because we only wait when there's a crisis to show up in the newspapers, to get calls from the press, to get calls from FM station presenters who want to ride on our misfortune. Enjoy growing, knowing that you're going to end up in the place of marriage, if that is your goal. As you grow, keep that in mind. The same way when you want to be a footballer, you begin to work out from the time you are young, thinking, if I'm going to be a footballer, what do I need? What kind of diet? What kind of muscles do I need to build? What kind of gym work? What kind of workout? Don't practice for rugby to come and play football. If you want to, if your plan is to have a healthy marriage, please don't go and be a player and then come and say, oh, then when I'm finished with this season, I will settle down. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Whatsoever you sow, that you shall reap. And unfortunately, a lot of our generation is reaping a harvest of terrible marriages, not because of the people we marry, but because of the person we are as we come to marriage. So may God help us to also speak to our children, to model to our children, and to inform our children through our successes and our failures, because sometimes your failure may be the story you have. Through it, inform your child to make the right choices so that their marriages in future can be greater than ours.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. Parting shot, Rose, in 30 seconds.
God is the author of marriage. It's God's idea, by the way. It's not our idea. Sometimes I think we forget that this is God's idea. He's the one who authored the whole idea of marriage. And therefore, the need to just always look out for him. And he is for you. He is for your marriage. He is for your marriage to work. He is for you to enjoy your marriage. So, ever more reason to have him at the center of your marriage, because he is the one who gives you the resources to have that. He is the one who gives you what you need to make that marriage work. We're talking about put in the work, but let me tell you, the tools that you need to put the work are from the Lord. The grace you need to put in the work are from the Lord. The wisdom that you said, because his word says, unless the Lord builds a house, those who build it in vain. And so let's depend on God to lead us, to direct us, to show us how to put in this work, how to live with each other, how to honor one another, how to really love. And love can be selfish for us as human beings. The way we do love is more, what will I gain from it? But God's way of love is different from us. So we need the resources that we need are from the Lord. And he is for you. He is for your marriage. He is that you enjoy it, that it will be fruitful, that you succeed in whatever you do. And so trust God. Allow him to lead it.
Thank you. Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These are exciting and engaging conversations. Tonight, I think we have had lots of wisdom here. Allow me not to run over that again. Our time is up. Thank you very much, the Wagatas, for honoring us with your time and the wisdom that we have shared. in this discussion. Thank you very much, everyone who's joined us from different corners of the nations of the earth. Thank you for those of you who have engaged us, comments and reactions that have come in. Thank you very much. Standing in for Simon, this is Sober Sunday. We shall see you again next Sunday. Have yourself a good night. Enjoy your marriage if you're in one. If you're not yet in one and you hope to be in one, go into it with faith that God makes marriage beautiful. God bless you. Have yourself a good evening and blessings from us here. Shalom.
Asante.
God bless you.
God bless you.